December is time to lock in for the new year. My plan just got shot, and I was just so upset and frustrated, even with the plan, even with the mindset of I can do it. It all just got away from me. Life can hit, things can happen. So make a plan, be prepared, but be flexible and ready to pivot. We are back with another episode of Mothering Holistically, a podcast amplifying everyday moms' voices, creating a relatable space to share stories, practical tips, and inspiration. We empower moms to embrace every season of motherhood with confidence and pursue their dreams with resilience. I'm your host, Kaylee Berlinee, a mama finding balance in motherhood because balance is key when mothering holistically. So no matter where you are connecting with us from, please subscribe or follow and give us feedback as we continue to make this podcast motivational and helpful for you all. So as you can see, or for those that can see me, I am in a new setting. I just moved to another state, and this show and this, theme of this show couldn't have come at a better time because December is time to lock in for the new year. And I'm so excited for all the guests that we have. But my episode is originally, well, it still is, but originally it was just around planning and preparation, just to kind of tie in the theme of December, because all of our guests, they're either small business owners or fitness coaches and things like that. And they, of course, have to plan. We all have to plan. And I just thought it was perfect. Like I said, I just moved to another state and I had everything planned out. I had, first off, a big part of the planning is the fact that I knew we were going to be moving, and I wanted to take the holidays off. I wanted to be off once we moved until the new year. And so I started working a lot. I started taking a lot more guests, um, basically opening up my schedule more so than I normally would so that I can accomplish that and I wouldn't have to film in December. So I had been super, super busy with the show and, of course, life as a mom and a wife and all that comes with that. And then, of course, knowing that we were moving, I had to create a plan to make sure that I was getting all my content done, of course, being a mom and making sure that we were prepared to move. So I took a week off at the early part of November to basically have all that time to pack. And I didn't want to start packing. I didn't want to just, how it is when you're like in mode and you just don't want to be bothered. And I always like to have the right mindset, of course, when I am doing my show. And so I just took the week off for that specific reason. And of course, we get sick. Me and my daughters get sick. It started off with my firstborn, and then me and my secondborn got sick like 2 days later. I don't know if I believe it was a virus because they had gotten roseola last year around this time, and they broke out after, like, they started feeling good. They broke out in a rash on their torso and a little bit on their, extremities and things like that, but mainly a rash on their torso. And this happened again. So I believe they got roseola. I didn't break out in a rash, so I don't know what happens as an adult, but me and my secondborn, I feel like got it worse than my firstborn. I don't know if, like I said, the virus just had time to like mutate and transform. And with sickness comes no sleeping in the night, comes a lot of fussing, comes a lot of neediness. And when you're in the middle of trying to get things done, packing, trying to stay up on responsibilities and things like that, it really was hard. It was hard to do. And my plan just got shot in the foot. And I was just so upset and frustrated. Yeah, I was just going through all the feels. Of course, I was trying to recover at this time. I had also made a commitment to do this fitness challenge and I'm trying to recover from a sickness, packed, all the things. I probably overbooked myself and I probably overextended myself. Probably is an understatement. I definitely did. But it happened and I can't go back and I can't change it. And this is just what transpired, even with the plan, even with the mindset of I can do it, I can make it work. I can, be flexible and do whatever it takes pretty much to fulfill my commitments. It really took a toll on me. And even right now, with not having my space set up for me doing this show, I honestly almost put this solo episode off. And like I said, I recorded a lot of content. And so I have content, I have interviews that I could have used, but that's not what I said I was going to do. I said I was always going to introduce the theme of the month or the general idea of the month. Every month's not always going to have a theme, but general idea of the month and what to expect and give my little story time blurb and like a check-in, a solo check-in. So I didn't want to not do that. And I just felt with life and the things that have happened in life, I just felt like it was perfect because we always want to plan and have some sense of structure and stability and kind of control, if you will, over our lives, even though none of us are in control, but just the sense of feeling like we have some type of control. I feel like that comes with planning. And even though I planned and I wrote everything out and I was trying to stay up on top of everything, it all just got away from me. And it was really stressful. But in the end, I kind of just had to let go and really be fluid in this season, in this time of this transitional period with moving to a different state, with babies, toddlers, my husband starting a new job or new position, that type of thing. So it was just a lot. And I say all that to say it doesn't mean that we don't plan. Even though these type of things happen and life happens, we still want to make sure that we have some sense of, like I said, control over our lives and over what's going on, especially with children and families. We want to make sure that there's some type of structure and things like that. So I just felt like everything that happened really tied closely into kind of what I wanted to say is just about setting goals and planning and preparing. And even with life happening, and even with a lot of things that are unexpected, and there's so many uncertainties, you still want to plan. You don't want those uncertainties to stop you from planning. Think of it as navigating to a destination, an unknown destination. You don't know where you're going, so of course you have to navigate to it, but there's an accident or a tree fell in the road. Do you just turn around and go home? You just stop going to your destination because there's some unexpected event in front of us? Or do we reroute and go an alternate way and still get to our destination? It just wasn't the way we had initially intended of getting there. So I like to think of it that way. It might be frustrating. You might get a little road rage. You might get a little upset because something stupid is happening. But at the end of the day, you reroute and you still get to where you were going. And that is, to me, a good way of thinking about getting to your goals because we might have a goal that we intend to accomplish in 3 months or a year, but it doesn't happen then, or it happens sooner. But let's say it doesn't happen in the timeline that we intended. Do we just give up or do we keep pushing towards that goal? Do we change the way we are trying to accomplish that goal to possibly make that goal happen within a newly routed timeline? Because our first plan or our first idea may not work, but you have to try again. And I know these are kind of like very like redundant type of sayings, but I like to be reminded of certain things because it helps and it helps me kind of ground myself to be like, okay, yes. Yes, Kaylee, life happens. Yes, you make a plan. Yes, you want things to go your way, but it doesn't always happen that way. And it's okay. It's okay that it doesn't always happen that way. And this is my story of sharing with you to hopefully connect with you and let you know that if you're going through something that was very unexpected and you imagined a certain part of your life to go a certain way, hopefully this helps you to know that even if it doesn't go that way, you'll still get to your destination. You'll still get to that goal. You'll still get to that, you know, dream that you imagined. Again, it just might take a little longer than you originally thought, or the route just isn't the way that you originally thought. And I don't really want this episode to be that long. Like I'm stating, I'm tired. I just wanted to be honest because that's what this is. This is me being vulnerable and open with you all and just letting you know how I'm going about living my life. And I want this to be a community of us just being honest and open because this move has been hard. My daughters are still not sleeping through the night. They stopped sleeping through the night when they got sick. It's been almost three 3 or 4 weeks now. Um, it's been quite some time. I don't know if the sickness has now merged into the 2-year-old sleep regression. And then on top of that, because when they kind of recovered back at our old place, they were still waking up in the night. So it wasn't like they started sleeping through the night, we moved and they started waking up again. They haven't been sleeping through the night for like almost the past month. Again, I thought it was because they got sick, but like I said, when they recovered, they were still waking up. And then we moved, which I know being in a different environment and things like that can cause them to wake up as well. And then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's the 2-year-old sleep progression. So it's just so many different things that are going on right now. And of course, if they're not sleeping, I'm not sleeping that well. And I did want to ask someone out there if you've experienced this. This, I believe, my memory is a little bit foggy now. I don't know if it's just happening with the move or if it started before. I believe so. It started before. But I don't know if you've experienced your child waking up at night solely wanting you as the mom. I feel like that's normal, them solely wanting you as the mom, but really being put off by dad. I mean, screaming hysterically. This is kind of off topic, but it's been going on. So I kind of wanted to touch upon it and ask if there's anyone out there that experienced this because my daughter, she has been waking up. And when she wakes up, she has been screaming. It hasn't happened in the past like 3 nights, but it was happening. And I was just very concerned because she was like screaming. I mean, screaming to the top of like hoarseness where you like cough because you've been screaming so hard. And then, if my husband tried to help me, it was even more hysteric. She was like, "No, no." And didn't want him at all. I mean, didn't want him to look at her, didn't want him in our bed. And then I would have to go back to their bed, but then she didn't want to be in there. And then if she woke up her sister, she now they both didn't want me to be holding the other baby. So then they would both be crying hysterically or screaming. And it was just a time because I have heard other twin moms kind of share that they've had moments where, the twin didn't want the other, twin around and they just wanted mom's attention solely, which I 100% get. It's just hard, of course, in the middle of the night and then not wanting dad. I think that's been a struggle because then both of them are crying hysterically and they both don't want dad. What we did end up doing was separating, like I left the room with the most hysteric baby, and then my husband stayed with the other one that was a little bit more easier to console. And that worked. If I wasn't in the room with both of them, that kind of worked. But I just wanted to start the conversation and see if anyone else was dealing with that. Like going back to the original part of this point of this episode is just to kind of give the the theme and let you know what we're going to be talking about in December. Like I said, we have small business owners, we have a return guest, and then we also have I guess they're all business owners, but we have a return guest, and then a fitness coach, and then a small business owner who created a product. So I'm really excited for all that you can expect in December. And my brain is all over the place right now. But again, I didn't want to not come on here and speak and share because I want to stay true to the heart of the show. And the whole purpose is, even through the ebbs and flows of life, it may change how I present the episode that I planned on presenting and how I planned on presenting it. But life hits and things happen, and I want to share those. I want to share those moments with you because I'm not perfect. I don't have a perfect life. No one has a perfect life. I'm not perfect. I go through things. If you see my YouTube, you know I'm not always looking put together and things like that because that's just not me. And I do know people that go out of their way to look nice every day. And this is another side note. It's hard for me, honestly, with my curly hair. It's like I want my edges to grow back. So, of course, my postpartum edges to grow back. So I don't always want to be like slicking my hair or manipulating my hair, styling my hair. So it's like, dang, I feel a little busted or dusty sometimes. And it took a lot for me to just be like, this is me. This is who I am. I'm not always glam or not always super put together. And I'm just trying to life and do different things. And of course, if there was like this being on my show, I'm not going to come on here looking crazy, but just every day to day, running around my daughters or getting food all over me all the time. You know, I just want to be honest and I just want to be true to who I am. I don't want to be anyone that I'm not. So yeah, I wanted to share what's been going on and why this episode is a little bit all over the place. But again, it's time to lock in for December. It's time to create a plan. It's time to set our goals for the new year. And with all that said, though, even when we create a plan, even when we think that we're ready, we're motivated, our mindset is there, everything is there, life can hit. Things can happen, especially being parents. If it's you not getting sick, if it's you not going through something, it could be them. It could be your husband if you have a husband, or your spouse or your parents or whatever. It could be something. We all have loved ones. We all have things that we're responsible for, and life hits. So make a plan, be prepared, but be flexible and ready to pivot because that's all we can do. All we can do is what we can do. But then don't, like I said, don't let that stop you from creating a plan. Even though there's unexpected, even though there's things that can get in the way, you still want to have a plan. I'm not going to just keep going down this road, but that's the whole purpose of this. It's a short one, but hey, that's what this is this time. So, of course, you can follow me at Kaylee Berlinee on all social media platforms. Follow the podcast at Mothering Holistically on Instagram and Facebook. And then, of course, tag us, hashtag Mothering Holistically podcast. If you like this episode, if you have experienced these different things that I've brought up with your children being hysterical in the middle of the night, waking up, things like that, please let me know what you did or how long it took to go back to normal. How early you were experiencing these 2-year-old sleep regressions. I definitely want to hear your experiences and kind of what you did to remedy that. I don't mind sleeping with my children. It's a temporary time, in my opinion. I love cuddling with my kids. It's, they stopped cuddling with me at like 6 months. So they like to sleep on their own. So when they do want to come in my bed, I don't mind it. Time is fleeting and they're only babies once. So I don't mind that. But anyway, just let me know your thoughts and how you handle that situation. So if you like this episode and feel that it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Please leave your feedback, leave your comments. That really helps us out as well. And if you feel it can encourage someone that you know, feel free to share it while also hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss a weekly episode. Episodes come out every Saturday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So until next time, remember to mother holistically and thrive authentically. I'm your host, Kaylee Berlinee, and together we're winning. Bye, y'all.